everyone, welcome to Uncle's channel. Thanks for watching today, and let's continue our journey to finish every single Game Boy and Game Boy Color game. Dave owns a game called RE-Men for the Game Boy Color. Now, the series has been around for a heck of a long time. They have games on the PC, the PlayStation 1, the N64, probably a ton of other systems out there, and it's probably still going on even to this day, but I'm not sure about that. But we're only going to focus on the very first one for the Game Boy Color here. It's my very first experience ever playing an RE-Men game, and I had sort of low expectations, if I'm being honest, because I just got done playing Cannon Fodder a few weeks ago or a couple months ago, and I didn't really enjoy that game, and this game looked like it was going to be very similar to that. Overhead view, playing as like a little RE-Men here, taking out the enemy forces, and honestly, I could not have been more wrong. This game here is a good bit of fun. I'm not going to say it's a perfect game or anything like that, but it is a fun time going through it, and honestly, it does make me look forward to the future RE-Men games I'm going to go through in the series, because I'm pretty sure you're going to polish it more up as they continue on. But let's go ahead and dive into RE-Men on the Game Boy Color. Now, this particular game did get moved up into queue a bit because the mystery driver requested I cover it sooner than later, so naturally I moved up into queue. So if you want to see me cover it sooner than later, let me know the name of the game in the comments down below, and just like RE-Men, I'll move it right on up. Now, I always start the videos up looking at the box art for the game first, and the box art for RE-Men is exactly what you would expect. You have a little plastic green RE-Man right there on the cover, shooting his bazooka off, a classic RE-Man pose from if you ever had the little toys growing up, and it says Real Combat Plastic Men, and explosions in the background. So, I mean, you know exactly what type of game you're getting here. I mean, you know you're playing as an RE-Man, and there's really not a lot to say about it, but it's a fine cover. Now, when you load the game up here, you do get like a little intro cutscene describing the battle that's ever going on between the green RE-Men and the tan RE-Men, which are the two main colors. The little toys would come in, and it has a good little sense of humor behind it as well. It talks about like the Green Plastic News Network or something like that. And overall, it's just a fun little intro sort of get you involved in the game. And then you go into the main menu here. You have the campaign, boot camp, options, and obviously we're going to focus on the campaign mode the most because that is the core one-player experience here in order to consider finishing the game. And there are two campaigns that you can choose from, the Desert Campaign and the Alpine Campaign, but you have to do the Desert Campaign first, so obviously we're going to focus on that one initially. Now, I think there are 14 missions in each campaign. Maybe one of them has 13, the other one has 14. We're just going to go through every single mission here, sort of break it down, talk about the gameplay mechanics, and what is swapped up between each individual map here. Now, the first mission is called Ghost Town, and your job is just simply to patrol the map and take out any enemy tan soldier that you see. Now, as you're going through here, you're going to notice initially the controls are a little bit wonky. And what I mean by wonky is like old school tank controls. Like you use the left and right button to sort of aim your little, I guess, sight here. And you can aim it all around your character, and then you press the up and down button to either walk forward in that direction or walk backwards from that direction. And so you don't just simply, walk around like a normal action overhead game. You simply have to choose the direction you want to go in and then press forward to go in that direction. It sounds really sort of annoying, and at first I was a little annoyed about it, but as the game continued to move on forward, like it made it way easier to aim your gun as far as like taking enemies out, and I got pretty used to the actual controls. Now, as far as like weapons go, you do start off with a machine gun or a rifle initially, and if you press the A button, you can fire that off in the direction that your sight is pointed in. If you get the A power up, which means automatic, you can just simply hold the A button down. It will have a continual stream of your bullets shooting off at the enemies here. Now, there are other weapons that you can get. You can have two other weapon slots to sort of rotate between. You can get like a med kit. You can get like a little mine detector. You can get a bazooka. You can get like a little grenade launcher or a grenade itself. And so there is a good variety as far as like different items that you can pick up on the field. They're always in these little crates here. And when I was going through it, like I picked up the metal detector or the mine detector. I never actually knew, as far as like the little RE-Men, little toys and whatnot, that has actually a mine detector that he's holding there. Perhaps you know that out there, and I'm just way behind the times, but I never actually knew that was a mine detector. So the game actually taught me something about just the toys I had growing up. But as you're journeying through here, it's fairly simple. You just walk up to the enemies, put your sight on them, press the A button, fire away. Generally speaking, you can get them from a pretty far distance. When you kill an enemy off, they like explode out, sort of like if you put a firecracker to one of your old toys. So the animation for that is pretty darn good, and you just simply have to take out all the soldiers, and you've won this particular mission. So we journey off into level 2 now. It has the same overall objectives here. Take out all of the men. I do find a bazooka, which is going to help as far as like shooting off explosions in the distance. And I do have to say, watch out if they throw grenades at you. They're normal weapons. They're rifles and machine guns. They don't do a whole lot of damage to you, but if they hit you with a grenade, it is a potential one-hit kill, depending on like how steady you are, or how static you are in that particular area. So watch out for the grenades as you're going through it. But it is a once again the same overall mission here. Now, when we load up level number 3, the objectives are going to be a little bit different. We're supposed to locate and destroy a vehicle in the southwest corner of the map. And I did not even know until this point, if you press the select button, you can load up a map of the overall area. And this is going to be a lifesaver, especially with the missions where it tells you to eliminate all the enemy forces, because it's going to show you a little dot on the screen of every single enemy throughout the environment. a huge benefit to have this on hand at any given time. But as I'm journeying through here, it said a vehicle in the southwest. So naturally, I journey down south and I journey off to the west. And I get down there, I kill all the enemies. There's no vehicle. I start to try to look off a little bit further outside that range. And it always says like the mission is over. I failed the mission because the vehicle escaped. I'm like, what the heck? Like the vehicle's supposed to be in the southwest. That's what the mission objective said. And finally, I just sort of gave up on going to the southwest and I went down to the southeast. And wouldn't you know it, there's the Jeep. And so like the direction or the objectives are actually wrong here. Head down to the southeast and you'll find the Jeep to take it out. Now mission number 4 is going to continue trying to mix things up. You have a mission of locate a radar tower and destroying it. As I'm journeying through the environment here, I do find a radar tower. It's got like a little pole here, a little speaker off the sides of it. That's a stretch to call it a radar tower. I'd call it just a speaker on a pole. But I tried shooting at it, trying to, destroy it that way. Couldn't destroy it. It turns out you had to find a grenade or a bazooka. I think in this level it was a grenade. You have to basically destroy it with a grenade. I didn't know that. It did take me a little while to figure that out. So just for future players, if you're going through the game, you can't destroy it with your regular old weapon. Now mission number 5 is going to bring us into the core plot, overall story of the game. It's going to focus on what's called the Uber device. And the Uber device is supposed to be hidden in the next town. So we're supposed to secure the area around it and take out all of the enemy soldiers. Now this is the first mission that is considered nighttime. And you can see here the scenes are beginning to change a little bit. But as far as like overall mechanics here, it's not going to be a whole lot different as far as like your objectives from the other missions. Now level number 7 is supposed to be to locate and destroy a tank. And you do have to get the bazooka to destroy the tank. I do not believe that you can destroy it with your regular old machine gun here. Destroy the tank, 3 shots with the bazooka, and you've accomplished that mission. Mission number 8 here is supposed to destroy the headquarters and all the enemies in the southeast corner of the map. Obviously load the map up. You can see where all the enemies are. Make sure you haven't missed any as you're going through it. You do have to have a bazooka or a grenade launcher where you sort of shoot the, grenades up in the air and they land on the building itself to destroy it. But evidently there are some survivors from the building who hop in the Jeep and try to race away. And that is mission number 9, is to find the Jeep and destroy it from basically getting away here. Now mission number 10 is going to have us set up a base camp, patrol the area, and take out all the enemy soldiers throughout the map. And you can see here, like when you go to map screen or whatnot, there's going to be tons of enemies. It almost looks like a Sim City picture here where like the electricity has gone out, little blinky lights all over. And it's a good time to like bring up here, like when it's a large map and you're having to journey across a large area like this, it is important to note that this is a very, very slow game. And it's not necessarily like a major flaw, but it is a little bit annoying. Like when you're trying to traverse the environment, your character moves just at an extraordinarily slow pace here. It's almost like he's running through like, like water or something. He's just sort of barely trucking his way through. And I wouldn't mind if the game was sped up just a little bit, but I understand he is a plastic toy, and plastic toys can only move at a certain pace. So perhaps that's what it is, but regardless, the game is fairly slow in that aspect. Now mission number 11 has us go to the southeast corner. There's a radar tower down there. We go down there, we get a bazooka, we destroy it. And I know I'm going through some of these missions fairly fast, but there's just simply not a lot of variety to them, except for basically kill all the enemies and accomplish that one little mission. And a lot of these missions are beginning to repeat, like destroying radar towers, vehicles, buildings. And speaking of that, mission number 12 is actually destroy more radar towers. And then mission number 13 is going to wrap up the desert missions here, or the desert campaign. Is simply going to be to get to the helicopter pad and to escape. You go up to the north, there's a giant pad with an H on it. That's all you gotta do is go there, and of course a little helicopter comes down and you can escape, and you finished up the overall desert campaign. And so now we're starting the Alpine campaign. If you look at the map, it's a totally different environment here. Very lush, very green. We got little lakes, we got ponds, we got rivers. A totally different atmosphere from the desert campaign, but the missions overall are going to be pretty much the same. The first one here is going to talk about the Uber documents that we've recovered from the desert campaign. We're investigating them, so while we're investigating, my job is to patrol the area, once again, take out all the enemy soldiers as we go. Number 15 is going to be to defend the base, which is going to be pretty much exactly the same as the last mission. Take out all of the soldiers in the area. And then I'm going to group mission number 16, 17, 18 together because they're all on the same map. They're all the same overall type mission: destroy radar towers to take out enemies, and you effectively defeated those missions. But when we start up level 19 here, we're finally getting a new map, and the new map is still set in the Alpine overall setting as far as like the lush green and the ponds and lakes and such, but it looks more like a devious or demonic smile and whatnot. I'm not sure if they designed it that way on purpose, but we were definitely getting more into a devious area of the game. As far as like missions go, pretty much the same. They have a few individual buildings we have to take out or secure. There's like a prison camp that we have to basically raid through because evidently there's a scientist who is working on the Uber device that we're trying to recover. He didn't want to work on the Uber device, so they threw him in prison. So we're trying to rescue the scientist. But before we can rescue the scientist, he has escaped. And mission number 22 is going to have us go all the way to the north of the map and try to rescue the scientist or recover the scientist who has fled from the prison camps. He looks like a little pixelated Albert Einstein here. All you have to do is walk up to him. You've completed that mission. Now level 23 is going to try to mix the gameplay up a little bit more because for the very first time in the game, we can get inside of a Jeep. And when we get inside the Jeep, we can ride around the environment here. And of course, you can shoot the enemies, but when you're in a vehicle like this, we all know what you do. You just simply run over all the enemies as you're going through here. That's just how we played the games back in the day, how we still play the game. Now, mission number 24 is going to be to find the tank, but you don't get to actually use the tank because in mission number 25, you get inside the tank and you get to ride around the tank, destroy different towers, and once again, run over to people as you go. I did lose the tank fairly early on, or before the mission was over, because there's a little grenade fella threw like 2 or 3 grenades at me. My tank was destroyed. When you destroy a tank, it doesn't actually blow up. It just sort of flips over on its back here, just like a toy tank would do, I guess. And then mission number 26 is once again to secure an area that we believe is housing the Uber device. And then the mission number 27 is to actually recover the Uber device. And when you go up to it, it's just simply a giant little spot on the ground here. Looks like a crater. You walk up to it, you pick it up, and you have, of course, finished the game up here. You've recovered the Uber device. It's now in our hands. Sarge is viewed as like a hero. The Green Army prevails. And you got a nice little cutscene here to summarize all of the core events. Now, let's talk about the game as an overall. Now, I went through it fairly quickly here, but truth be told, the missions are not very long. They are fairly repetitive as you go, but at the same time, they are fairly fun. Now, if the game was any longer than what it is, it might get repetitive, but the game can be done in like maybe 2 hours, maybe a little bit less. And so as you're going through it, like it just really is a nice, concise, fun, enjoyable experience. There's not a ton of variety to it, but when it's broken up like this, and they do give you different weapons or different vehicles or to change the scenery, it allows it to feel like it has more variety than what it really does. And so overall, like I enjoyed the game. Yes, it is a little bit slow as far as your movement goes. Hopefully that's going to be improved in some of the other Army Men games I'm going to get to a little bit later. But even if they don't change anything, like it's a overall fun game. I'd probably give it a 6.5, somewhere in there out of 10. And if you find it on clearance somewhere or find a good deal on it, I definitely think it's worth picking up. But who knows what the future Army Men are going to hold for us. And I'm looking forward to those as we go. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Check out my other videos listed up above. And go out there, find a great game to play. Simply have a great rest of the day.